Alrighty. We are back online with another live stream, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. It's been a while, but I'm back. And good news is, by popular request, more gimbal videos are going to be coming out. And I know that a lot of you have been DMing me about gimbal this, gimbal that. I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing the gimbal stuff back. So prepare yourselves. So I got the Ronin S right here. I know I haven't talked about it in a while. I know some newer gimbals came out since the Ronin S, so I'm sure you guys probably have some questions about that. And we have the Ronin S body right here. It's taken apart on purpose, just in case you guys have some questions on how to put it together and all that other good stuff. So let me know what your thoughts. I noticed that a few of my videos have not been getting a lot of attention because they weren't gimbal related. So by that, I already knew that you guys just want gimbal stuff. And I appreciate that. I think that's awesome. I think that you guys are really passionate about gimbals. So am I. But it's a tech that can only go so far. So it's only one little smidget of filmmaking. There's a bunch of other stuff that needs to be talked about, such as lighting and other forms of camera movement. So don't just limit yourself to gimbal stuff. You got to focus on other things as well, such as audio, lighting, and composition and all that other good stuff. So don't just mainly focus on the gimbal or gimbal stuff. Focus on the other aspects of filmmaking as well. So yes, let's answer some of your questions. Mohammed says, nice. Awesome, Mohammed. Great to see you, man. So, all right. I wanted to talk a little bit about lithium-ion batteries too. Oh, I'm sorry, this is the LiPo battery. So LiPo batteries, lithium-ion batteries, when you're not using them for a while, it's good to bring it down to about a 60% charge. This is a built-in battery, guys. So with the Ronin S, you kind of don't have a choice, but you have to take really good care of these types of batteries because they don't last more than about 3 to 5 years. So if you plan to use this gimbal for that long, make sure you take really good care of these batteries. And if you're going on vacation and you're not taking the Ronin S, charge it back down to about 60% and let it sit that way. Otherwise, you're really stressing out the cells of the battery. All right. Hello from Trinidad. What's up, Trinidad? Yo, my friend, I'm at work going to drive home. Hope you will be still online. Just freshly bought the June Crane 2 with the handlebar. Awesome, dude. Yeah, I'll be online for about an hour, just as long as we get a good conversation going. So hopefully you'll get home within that time. Loved your last video. Keep it coming. Thanks, man. So Mario, are you talking about the lighting video with lighting a storm? I worked hard on that video. I really did. I thought it would be a really cool, like, DIY type thing with the rain and all that. So if you guys haven't checked it out, please check out my last tutorial. It's only 4 minutes long on how to light a storm. It's really cool. And I talk about how to create moonlight. I talk about how to create lightning. So check it out. I think it's going to be really neat for you guys to check out, especially if you're thinking about making a feature film or a short film for that matter. I think that tutorial will definitely help you guys out. I actually did a video on the AK2000, which is a Feiyutech gimbal, but I have no experience with the Ronin S. Okay, cool. So I'm getting the Feiyutech AK4000 this week. I just got word that it got shipped out last Friday. So I should be getting the AK4000 this week for review. I will not be able to review the gimbal for at least a couple of weeks because I need to take it on some jobs with me just to see how it does. And then I'll be able to, maybe I'll give my first impression of the gimbal and then I'll do a final review because I know a first impression is pretty important. So maybe I'll do some of that. If you guys are up for it, I'll definitely do it. Let me know. Is it possible to completely lock the camera all axis with the black trigger? What do you mean completely lock? Oh, I see. So none of it follows your movement. So as of right now, I haven't been able to figure that out yet. I need to dive deeper into the Ronin S app, but as of right now, no, you can't. It does allow for full follow, but I think there will be an option for you to program the trigger for any function you wish. So let me get back to you on that. That's a very good question. Got my Ronin S 3 weeks ago. Awesome, man. How you liking it? Were you able to power the Sony a7R II with the Ronin S? Thank you. So I don't have the proper cables for that because with Ronin S, looks to me like they might have a proprietary power. Yeah, so down here, it's not like on the Crane 2 or the Crane 3 where you just have a power out jack. So these are the two jacks that we have for power. You will have to get an adapter from DJI in order to power up your A7R II. But here's the thought. There is a USB-C connector here. I'm not sure if it supplies power or not, but you can actually try and connect a USB-C cable to your A7R II and see if that will charge the camera. It probably won't, but it's just a thought. I think this is just an input, not an output. So I haven't given that a shot, but give that a try and let me know what you think. Also, the Ronin S should be powerful enough to compensate for a battery grip on your A7R II. So if you want extra power, definitely consider getting a battery grip. And that way you can hook it up directly into your camera, and that will give you basically unlimited runtime on your camera. So if you want to see something like that, let me know. I got 2 power banks, some Mophie, and some other power bank, but we can probably do a rigging up video, like a little hack on how to just keep your camera running for a long time. Question on the Crane 3, is the form factor good on the arms with the gun pull trigger style? It looks uncomfortable for long periods of time. Is it? If you'd like, let me bring out the Crane 3 and let's do a little comparison video, okay? I'm going to go grab the Crane 3. Give me 1 second. Okay, Crane 3. Really good stuff. All right, so here's our Crane 3. Here's our Ronin S. All right, this is basically the top half as well. Now, if you notice on the Crane 3 Lab, all they really did was they moved the bottom portion up here. And yeah, that's the battery compartment. While on the Ronin S, the handle is the battery compartment, which attaches through the bottom. So with the Ronin S, we still have the traditional gimbal form, right? So we just have the traditional gimbal form. Nothing new here with the design. You know, we've always been working with single-handed gimbals that look like this. All we got to do is actually just attach the tripod here on the bottom. Okay. Ronin S. All right. Crane 3 Lab. So a bit of a size difference. Basically, they took the bottom half of the Ronin S and twisted it to the side. So you can see the difference there. Okay. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions comparing these two gimbals side by side. I have them right here. I can even balance them for you right here on the stream. So let me know if you want me to do something like that. I know both of these gimbals pretty damn well since I've been using them on a ton of shoots lately. So yeah, let me know. All right. I've been getting a lot of scam calls lately. It's annoying. All right. So is the Crane 3 a good form factor? So for me, I'm a big guy. So I like a beefy gimbal. I like the form factor of the Crane 3. I prefer bigger gimbals than smaller gimbals. I stopped liking like the Moza Air 1 and the Crane 1 V2 because it was just too small. I like the bigger form factor. So that's actually one thing I do like about the DJI Ronin S. I like how big and beefy it is, but something I don't like about it is the weight. It feels just as heavy. It actually feels a little bit heavier than the Crane 3 Lab. But because the Crane 3 Lab is such a big gimbal and it has this handle, I just love the way that I can just hold it like a briefcase. That's something I can't really do with the Ronin S. But overall, I would much prefer a bigger gimbal than a smaller gimbal. It's just my preference. You never know when you're going to have to use multiple different lenses that are bigger, smaller, different camera bodies. You want to be able to be prepared for all of that. And the best way to be prepared is to use a gimbal that's capable of doing all of that. So that's why I prefer using the bigger gimbals here. Okay. Would be awesome to do some whip pans while using the Ronin S. So maybe I can do a video on that. My hair's all over the place. Yeah, maybe I can do a little tutorial on how to do whip pans with the Ronin S. Basically, how we're going to achieve that is we're going to be going into sport mode, and we're going to do really fast pans, left and right, left and right. And with those pans, we're going to immediately transition mid-pan to the next shot. So maybe if I can talk about that. That's a really good point. Thank you for bringing that up. All right. So, okay. Or do you prefer the Ronin S? So after using all of these gimbals, I do like the Crane 3 Lab more. I just love this handle. I love the longer, for me, it feels like it has a slightly longer battery life. And it just has that HD transmitter, just has all these little bits and bobs, right? That the Ronin S doesn't have. And the fact that I don't have to use a proprietary battery is another great thing. I can just go to Amazon, buy a pack of batteries, and not have to worry about it. With this thing, I have to go directly to DJI, and they have to supply me with the battery. And I don't like being reliant on a company to send me batteries. Obviously, that was a tactic from DJI to make more money. We all know that, but that's how they designed that gimbal. All right. If you could only use one lens for the rest of your life, what would it be? Oh, that's an easy question. I would use, where's it? My 24 to 70 Zeiss. I would be using that. That's like the best all-around lens you can get, in my opinion. All right. I got a question about the Weeble Lab. Sometimes there is a jerk to the side while panning. Have you experienced this? Yes. This is a very big issue with the Weeble Lab. I talked to my connections at Juin, and they said they're working on it. They haven't given me a definitive date on when the new firmware is supposed to be released to fix that bump. But yes, I've experienced that multiple times, and they need to fix it ASAP. I completely agree. Just not digging it. I did not really have that issue with the Crane 3 Lab. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm not an engineer of these gimbals, so it's difficult for me to say like how they were able to, put in their algorithms for the motors and all that other stuff. So I'm not entirely sure how that works. I don't think they could just, take the firmware from the Crane 1 V2 and just plug it into the Weeble. I think it's a completely different system with the motors and how everything is built. So I think they have to build almost everything from scratch when it comes down to the software. All right. Okay, next question. Sick connection video. Okay. Have you used the Crane Zoom motor a lot? My Weeble doesn't balance well with it. The gimbal rolls towards the motor and some movement. So yeah, I was not able to successfully balance with my setup, at least the Sony A9, a camera cage, and a 24 to 70 and a motor. I was not able to successfully balance that. I was able to balance it with my 85 mil without a cage and just stripped down to the bones. I was able to balance it with that, but even when the lens, if you're using a zoom lens and it's extended, I mean, you can't use that on the Weeble. I was not able to. There have been talks from the company, 40% motor torque increase. I'm yet to see that come out. So when I find out when that firmware comes up, you guys will be the first to know. I promise you, I will let you know. I'll make a video on it. But they said constantly that they're going to work on a firmware that has a 40% motor torque increase. And that's all what we really, really want out of that gimbal. That gimbal is very close to being perfect and very close to being the best gimbal there is. It's very close. Need maybe a third-party adapter. Yes, there you can get a third-party adapter. But the grip here, let's see here. Small Rig makes a grip for the Ronin S that lets you hold it like that. It's not the same, however. It's just not the same. I've seen that grip from Small Rig. I saw it at NAB. It's not the same. In my opinion, with the Ronin S, the best grip, one of the best grips you can get is one of those mini dual grips. That's actually something that's going to really be beneficial for Ronin S users. The mini dual grip is by far, I think, one of the best accessories you can get with your Ronin S. So I think Small Rig makes that. I don't remember which the Ronin S. I think that's probably the best accessory you can get for the Ronin S. You're going to be using that quite a lot. Trust me. I loved the mini dual grip for the crane too. I love that thing. So with Feiyutech releasing the AK4000 and soon to be AK4500, they actually made the display larger than any other companies on the gimbal. They made it a touchscreen. Oh, I really wish I had that gimbal with me right now, but it's in transit. So should be coming in later this week. Maybe I'll do another live stream as soon as I get that new gimbal. I really want you guys to see what that company is doing because not a lot of people have been talking about Feiyutech. I reviewed their AK 2000, right? And gimbal. It did pretty well. All right. I recently bought the Ronin Focus add-on. I have a really hard time balancing the whole unit with my ADD. Do you have this unit? I don't. I don't have the focus controller, unfortunately. I just have the wheel. But hey, DJI, if you're watching, I will gladly make a tutorial on how to balance it with the focus. So yeah, hook it up, dude. Hey, bro, what's the best setting for doing orbits? I keep getting off center with my subject as I orbit. Thanks. So, Brian, I'm assuming you're using the Ronin S, right? Let me know. Ronin S or Crane? Which one are you using? Do prioritize CRI ratings. I'm debating whether the Aperture 120D Mark II over the Godox SL60. So, okay. I actually have both lights on me right now. I have the Aperture 120D Mark II and I have the Godox 60W. It depends on budget. With the Godox, we get about a 90 CRI. With this bad boy right here, we get 97. They're both rated on 0 to 100 scale. So we have a 90% light, which is an A minus, and then we have a 97% light, which is an A minus. That's something I don't think that's that big of a deal. Where the Godox has a really big issue is flickering. So when you're going at shutter speeds at like 1/500th of a second, you're going to get some issues with the flickering of the Godox. This guy right here, the Aperture, doesn't have those issues. It doesn't have any flickering issues. You could be at 1/20,000th shutter speed. We have really good power flow on the Aperture 120D Mark II. We don't have any pauses in power. With the Godox, we have that issue. So that's one of the main reasons why we have such a different price difference between the two lights. I mean, one's $745, one is like $150. Also the build quality and just the functionality of the light, you're going to get much more out of the 120D Mark II, but you're also going to pay more. So it depends on the budget, how much you're willing to spend. But if you had $800 and you wanted something that could power up something very reliably, it could be used with external battery packs, and it can produce fireworks, lightning effects, you got to get the Aperture 120D Mark II. I mean, that's the light to go with. The Godox is great for entry-level filmmakers. If you want something quick, If you want something just to get the job done for one specific little task, that's the Godox. That is the Godox. But if you want a good all-around light, something that you're going to depend on for years and years and years, boom, Aperture, 120D Mark II, straight up. So it depends on your budget and what your intended use is. But overall, the Godox for the price, wow, very impressive. But again, entry-level filmmaking, very good light, the Godox. Once you become more pro and once you have more money in your bank, you got to upgrade to the Aperture lights for sure. But do I prioritize CRI ratings between the two lights? I mean, it's very close. They're both in the A mark. You know, very, very, very subtle differences. Obviously, the Aperture has a slightly better color rendition. So, I mean, I wouldn't make that a huge determining factor between these two lights because they're very close. Very, very close. I mean, there's $3,000 lights that have an 85 CRI rating, but pro Hollywood sets still buy them because they look great. So sometimes CRI rating isn't the best way to look at it. TLCI is what you should be looking at. Sorry about that. But TLCI is actually the color rendition through the camera's eyes, and that's actually something that you should be looking at. The TLCI on here is higher than on the Godox. TLCI is the number that you need to be looking at, not as much the CRI. So TLCI, that's what you want to be looking at. And those numbers play big difference, big deal. So that's where actually the Aperture really kicks the Godox ass is TLCI. But yeah, yeah, I hope I answered your question. I mean, a lot of factors go into this, you know, budget, beginner, advanced, that type of stuff, and then just what you want it for, the functionality. So I hope that long answer has helped you make a decision. Okay, when on shooting day using the Crane 2, how do I switch lenses as fast as possible? Do I have to balance every time I switch the lenses? Okay, good question. So a lot of people have been DMing me on Instagram asking me about lens changes and does it affect the motors if you don't rebalance? Listen, you have on the Crane 2 a 7-pound payload capacity, correct? If you have a lens that extends and the motors are still having it stand up, that's fine, okay? The motor can do it. The gimbal can do it. You are not going to fry anything. You're not going to damage anything if things are unbalanced. The gimbal is meant to compensate for it. Obviously, you're going to get slightly better performance with a fully balanced gimbal, but a gimbal is built so you can quickly, you know, extend the lens, change lenses. You don't have to rebalance every single time. That's why they're making more powerful gimbals so you can worry less about balancing and more about getting the shot. So you can change lenses. My only advice to you is if you're making a huge change between, let's say, a 85 prime to, let's say, a 16 to 35 zoom, huge changes of weight there, I would adjust it slightly. Maybe just adjust the pitch or the quick plate forward or back just to help it out a little bit because you want that assistance on the gimbal. You really do. You want to help it as much as you can, but I know that time is of the essence. So maybe just adjust the pitch a little bit. Do what you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. These gimbals are very powerful. So don't freak out if it's not perfectly balanced. The gimbal will still work. All of these gimbals have safety firmware built in. If the gimbal can't handle a certain weight, it's going to shut off. That's when you know that something is wrong, that you need to rebalance or just change your camera setup. If the gimbal just shuts off on you, which all these gimbals are capable of doing to protect themselves, then that's when you need to worry, okay? Another thing is that none of the gimbal's motors will fry. The gimbal will shut off before any of that happens. There's safety firmware built in, okay? So that's another thing that you guys gotta know about. People keep asking me that because I zoom in and zoom out on the Crane 2 with a follow focus motor that it's gonna destroy the gimbal. That's not true. If the gimbal can't handle it, it's just going to shut off. That's it. No damage will be done. Okay. All right. My Ronin S is cracking on the right side of the motor when moving. Do you have this? Do you know if this problem is common, and do you suggest I return my Ronin S? So where exactly is it cracking? You're saying on the right side of the motor when moving. Which motor? Pan, tilt, or roll? It shouldn't be cracking. It's all metal. So unless it was dropped or something like that, or you were in an oven with it, I don't see how the Ronin S could be cracking. I mean, it's all the motors are in metal casing. So yeah, let me know what happened there. That's very strange. Crane 3 Lab or Ronin S for the Canon 5D Mark III. Oh, that's a big camera. I would go with the Crane 3 Lab simply because it has that slightly bigger payload. And just the overall functionality of the Crane 3 Lab is more than the Ronin S. But yeah, that's my opinion. And because the 5D Mark III, that's a big camera. All right. I used to have a 5D Mark II, and that thing I love, honestly, guys. And if you want my opinion, I think the 5D Mark II was the best camera ever made. Still to this date. The 5D Mark II is still the best camera ever made. But anyway, beside the point, 5D Mark III, big camera, you're going to need something that has the most support for you. So when you're tired on set, or if you want to get quick low angle shots, this is going to be the best option for you and your back and your arms, especially with such a big camera like the 5D Mark III. So yes, it's going to work on the Ronin S as well, but you're going to get much more tired, much more quickly on the Ronin S compared to the Crane 3 Lab. All right, so something very something to consider. All right. Okay, next question here. Could this hold a red? Which gimbal, Ronin S or Crane 3 Lab? Both actually can hold reds. Okay, both can hold reds. Same issue as this guy had this problem straight out of the box. Whoa. Really, guys? What is going on here? Let's see here. Rick sent a link. Forum, DJI thread. Uh-oh. So this to me looks like it's a production issue. These should not be cracking. Let me hear what this is. Let me see this quick video here, guys. Oh, yeah. That needs to be returned. I thought you meant a physical crack, but it sounds like a cracking noise. So, all right, yeah. So I actually had this issue with my Moza Air, believe it or not. But it was turned off. So I found that to be very weird. It could be a damaged bearing. That's what it sounds like. It could be a damaged bearing in one of these gimbals, in one of the axes. So yes, definitely return it. That is a hardware problem, and that probably happened in manufacturing. So yes, return the Ronin S immediately because that is not a functioning gimbal. Okay. Yeah, I hope it's still under warranty. Mine doesn't have that issue. So yeah, I'm really sorry that happened. I had that experience on the Moza Air, but I think it went away. The more I started using the Moza Air back when I first got it, the cracking went away. Maybe I don't know, bearing, maybe it's just something wasn't aligned and then me using it aligned it. I don't know. But it sounds like a damaged bearing. One way to check it out, though, does it make that noise with the gimbal turned off? Okay, so this is how you can determine if it's the motor or if it's the bearing. Okay, if the motor's turned off and it still makes that cracking noise, then it's the bearing. If the motor is on and making that cracking noise, then it has something to do with the motor. Maybe the magnets aren't properly working. It could be something like that. So all of these brushless motors are powered by magnets. Yeah, that's how this works. But yeah, see if you can turn off the gimbal and move it with your hands and see if that's where the cracking noise is coming from. All right, so wow, I haven't heard about this issue. This is bad. Not good. That means if it affected you too, then that means it affected probably few hundred more people. Um, that's really bad. Wow. Yes, even when turned off. Okay, so there you go. That's your issue. It's going to be a broken bearing for sure. For sure, broken bearing or bent bearing. Something going on with the bearing there. So yeah, you definitely gotta return it. The motors are fine. It's 100% the bearing. Yeah. I sent 2 questions, but no answer. Okay, question was about the Crane 3 and Weeble. Sorry, Martin, can you ask that question again? I probably missed it by accident. Anyway, I can balance a Weeble Lab with a microphone attached with a Canon EOS 70D. You can. Good. Good. Crane 3 Lab equals it is handle with display movable, adjustable. So no, the Crane 3 Lab has a fixed handle. All right, it's a fixed handle here. Let me lock this. So stop sliding, but it is a locked handle. It's fixed. All right. During pre-production of this gimbal, they were thinking about making this handle adjustable. I think they took away that function because with heavier camera setups, it'd be very difficult to create like a knuckle or something that could tighten that without it becoming loose over time. So I think that's why they made it a fixed handle. Okay. Have you done any crane shots on a monopod like you showed in the previous video? Crane shots. I've done a while ago when Juin released their version of the monopod. I did some demo shots, not on a professional set. Actually, wait. I've done a fitness video with an actual crane and a gimbal. So what I did, I have this 8-foot crane. All right, it's set up in a studio. I attached my crane to a gimbal on it, and I was able to wirelessly control it with the remote I had. And as I lifted it up, I tilted down. So I was able to get those kinds of shots. I think you mean on a monopod, right? Yeah, I've never used a gimbal and a monopod on a professional shoot. I've only used it on the shoots that I showed you on YouTube, which were like demo shoots that I shot at home. But I actually used a crane and a gimbal, and those are like 2 beautiful things to have. All right, a crane and a gimbal. Oh man, the shots you can get with those things, oh, so good. Hello from Europe. Josh, Weeble Lab equals small motor, not good gimbal for A7 series or GH5 speed booster and big Canon glass. What is your opinion? So my setup on the Weeble, what I was able to max it out as on the weight was the Sony A9, a small rig camera cage, and a 16-35 lens. That's it. That's the maximum weight I was able to put on the Weeble before it just started to just not work. Yeah, that's as heavy as I went. So it definitely works with A7 cameras. You know, my A9 is considered an alpha camera, so it's pretty close to the weight of the A7R3. So yeah, I mean, it works. It depends on the lenses and other accessories that you're using with that camera. Do you know how long the warranty is on the Ronin S? It's 1 year, 12 months. Martin, Weeble Lab combination A7 III 24-70 lens equals vibration. Which 24-70 lens, G Master or Zeiss? With the G Master, I'm surprised you even got it balanced. But with the Zeiss, I was working fine with my A9. I didn't have any issues. For follow focus Canon 5D Mark III, which one is better? I would get, I would stick with the Crane 3 Lab for that. If you want like crazy cool like accessories with your gimbal, Crane 3 Lab, man. That one has a 10-pound payload. Ronin S about 8.8 pounds. So you get 1.2 pounds more freedom of adding whatever you want. Ronin S or Crane 3 Lab, I would go with the Crane 3 Lab. Both are very good gimbals, but I would go with the Crane 3 Lab simply because it has more functionality. You get more payload, you get the wireless HD transmitter, you have the option to hook up 2 motors on it, one for focus and one for zoom. Again, the Ronin S doesn't have any of those features. Also, we don't get a proprietary battery like on the Ronin S. The Ronin S you have to only buy from DJI, where on the Crane 3 Lab you can buy a pack of 18650 batteries from Amazon or eBay for like 15 bucks. So that's something you got to consider. Do you have an idea if I can balance EOS R and Tamron 15 to 30 G2? Thanks in advance. On which gimbal? Let me know which gimbal. Tamron 24 to 70 lens A7 III, but can you make some balance tutorial for the A7 series and your lens 24 to 70? I did already. I have a few balancing tutorials. I actually balanced a Canon, what was it, a T5S, T5i, one of those cameras, on the Weeble Lab with a kit lens. And then I made another balancing tutorial. I believe I did it with the 24 to 70. If not, I can do it. I can do it, guys. If you really want me to make another balancing tutorial for the Weeble, I will definitely be able to do it. If that's something that shows a lot of interest, let me know. Hi from Poland. What's up, Poland? I love Poland. Alrighty. Any more questions, guys? So yeah, overall experience with the Ronin S have been very positive. When it comes down to orbiting shots, this is something that a lot of people have been asking me is how consistent, how smooth is the gimbal with orbiting shots? And how does it compare to, let's say, a crane gimbal? I'll tell you straight off the bat, the crane is a smoother gimbal than the Ronin S. Okay, I have footage to back it up. It's smoother. Okay. I was doing a workout shoot last year, 2 big bodybuilders, and I wanted to make a really cool wide orbiting shot around some of this equipment that they were using. The shot looked good, but during editing, when you really focus on the shot, you can notice that the Ronin S jittered. Okay, it wasn't one smooth rotation, it was a little jittery. So DJI needs to work on that. They need to work on that with the pan. The Crane 3 Lab didn't have that issue. However, the Weeble Lab had that issue, a little similar to the Ronin S. So each of these gimbals, even though, you know, they look similar, they have similar motors, the firmwares are completely different. The Crane 3 Lab overall, I think, is the best performing gimbal. However, I haven't tried the Moza Air 2 yet. Actually, I did try the Moza Air 2. I haven't tried the AK4000 yet. I'm trying to get a Moza Air 2 in for review. I tried Kitty's Moza Air 2. I actually really liked it. It's a good gimbal. I need more time with it. I only used it for about an hour. So I need more time with the Moza Air 2. AK4000 from Tech is coming in this week, and I'll give you guys my first impression of that gimbal, and then I'll give you my review video that's very detailed. Okay, and then if you'd like, I can compare it to the Crane 3 in a separate video. So let me know what you guys want me to do. I like to say that this is your channel. You guys tell me what content you want me to produce, boom, and I'll give you that content. Something I said earlier in the live stream, I just hope you guys aren't purely focused on gimbals, okay? It's very important that as a filmmaker, don't only focus on one aspect, focus on multiple aspects, okay? Because that's what makes you a limited person. There's still things I'm learning every day, okay? And I'm starting to focus more on lighting now. So lighting is something that you really got to focus on. Lighting is more important than anything. Okay, lighting and lenses, those are the 2 key things. If you don't have good lenses, if you don't have good lighting, I mean, your footage is not going to look good. Your footage can look great without a gimbal. It really can. A gimbal is something that you get down the road when you're ready to advance the type of shot that you want to get. I wouldn't focus too much on getting the most expensive camera. You can get a very good lens, a crappy camera, and still get very nice shots. Okay, lenses do a lot. They really do. Lighting, man, night and day difference. So while you're on YouTube, while you have the time, while you're searching through videos, look at lighting tutorials. That's why I started doing some lighting stuff. Like my last video, I noticed that the stats were way down in the dumps for that lighting tutorial I did. That's not good because that means that you guys aren't watching other stuff. All right. So don't only focus on the gimbal stuff, please. That's a very bad mistake as a filmmaker. This is what's going to really take you away from a lot of work. You need to know good lighting. You really, really got to focus on lighting here. Don't just focus on the gimbal stuff. I know gimbals have all the technology. Gimbals look cool. Everybody wants a gimbal. They really transform your video, but nothing transforms your video like lighting. Lighting is numero uno, along with the lenses that you use. Okay, so focus on lighting and lenses. Don't just focus on the cool gear, like the gimbal and the automated sliders and all that other crap. Focus on the lighting and the lenses. Okay, very important. So please check out my last tutorial where I teach you guys how to actually recreate a lightning storm. I'm going to do another tutorial soon on lighting, on how to light overhead and how to make it seem like a horror movie. So one of my all-time favorite movies was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I really liked that movie, and I love the way they lit that deserted mansion or deserted house that, where Leatherface lived. They used a lot of weird, feel very gross. So that's another tutorial I want to be working on, is how to turn something like, a nice apartment into something really disgusting and, like a horror movie. So yeah, that's another tutorial that I'm working on. So stay tuned for that. Again, you guys got to be focused on more than just gimbals. Okay. I learned the hard way. All right. I thought that all I needed was a gimbal, and it's much more vast than that. Okay. All right, back to some questions. Have you experienced the infamous pan drift on the Crane 3 that happens on the Crane 2? I haven't experienced the pan drift. I know a lot of people have been asking about the pan drift. I actually experienced the pan drift on the Moza Air 1. I haven't really experienced the pan drift on the Crane series gimbals. I think I need to make a new calibration tutorial video. The last calibration tutorial I did was on the Crane 1V2. And that actually solved a lot of problems for many people, because these gimbals, they're calibrated in the factory, but things change during, shipping and transit. So when you get your gimbal, it's very wise to calibrate it before you start using it. So I'm going to make a calibration tutorial on the Crane series, on the Crane 3. If you guys want, I can do it on the Crane 2 as well. But yeah, calibration is going to solve all of your drifting issues. It's going to solve your crooked horizon issues as well. So calibration is everything. I had a bad experience with the Fadetech A2000, so I'll stay away from Fade for a while. Okay, no worries. Perfectly understandable. We'll see what the AK 4000 has to offer. Apparently, it's some revolutionary gimbal that Fadetech is praising. So we'll see what that gimbal is like. Wanted to ask this. Recently filmed a training video. What is your recommended lens? I use the Ronin 85mm Sigma 18 to 35 and a 50mm Canon. 18 to what camera are you using? Are you using a full frame camera? Because it looks like you're using some pretty nice glass there. I have Ronin 14mm. I used to have on a music video I shot in 2015. I had a whole set of Ronin glass that we rented actually. We had an 85mm we had a 24 mil. We had, none of them were zooms. They were all primes. So we had a few, yeah, we had a few, quite a few broken on glass. The best feature Ronin S has in your opinion? I love the auto tune feature. I think DJI really hit a home run with the auto tune feature. I think that's something that every gimbal needs to have. Moza took that auto tune feature and put it into their gimbals, so they knew what DJI was doing and they implemented it into their own gimbals. So I really love the auto tune feature. I feel like that's going to help out a lot of people, especially if they're using different setups constantly, different lenses, different camera bodies, I think that's very, very important. I think that's one of the selling points for the Ronin S is it's very accurate with its auto tune. Overall performance on the Ronin S, again, very good. There were some little minor things that I think could definitely be improved, such as the little inconsistencies in the panning when doing wide orbit shots. So I think that's something that people need to look out for when getting a gimbal. All right. Any more questions? Thanks for the stream. You are very welcome. How's the sound? I hope the sound is good. I'm using a Rode NTG2. I know that the picture quality is a little crappy. I'm just using my MacBook Pro's webcam. But as long as you guys get to see like the gist of what's going on, that's what I'm happy about. Planning to buy the Tamron 15 and 30 2.8 G2. Do you have an idea if I can balance it on the Ronin S with my EOS R? You definitely can. You definitely can. Sound and video out of sync. Does anyone else have that issue? You're doing great work. Keep it up, bro. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for all of your videos. Good job. Thank you, guys. And before you leave, all right, we're not ending the stream yet, but if you're leaving now, please check out my last video on lighting, okay? It's very important that we all learn lighting. I'm still learning about lighting, so should you. There's an infinite amount of videos or an infinite amount of knowledge that you can get about lighting because lighting is everything. Sound is okay. Best regards from Germany. Awesome, man. Thank you so much. We'll check it out. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Also, I wanted to ask you guys about notifications to see if you are signed up or subscribed with notifications turned on. And if you are you getting those notifications? I am looking, it looks like only 5% of my subscribers are getting notifications. And I don't know what the hell is going on. 5% is very, very low. Okay. What's 5% of 55,000? That's very low. So are you guys getting notifications? Like what's going on? I wanted to actually touch base with you guys on that. I want to make sure that you guys are getting the content, watching the content, enjoying the content. If there's anything that I can improve on, please, I don't get insulted easily. So if you please be honest with what my channel is like. Okay, I want to know if you're getting the quality content that you want. I want to know if you're subscribed with those notifications turned on. Please be honest with me. This is something I want to learn and implement over time. So if there's anything I can improve on, please don't be shy and tell me what I can improve on. All right. This content is for you. It's not for me. So please let me know how I can improve my videos and if you are getting those notifications. All right. Yeah. So we're having some new people tune in. I'm going to leave this live stream online for you guys to check out later as well. So if you have to go, don't worry about it. I'll leave the live stream public. Do you have any tips on websites where you can educate ideally free? Okay. Right now, ideally free. I think right now, if you want the best free filmmaking content, it's going to be YouTube. It's going to be YouTube, guys. That's just the best free education you can get. Everything I would say about 90% of what I've learned was from YouTube. So YouTube and trial and error. Please make a video on the Ronin S and the Crane 3 Lab comparison. I will. I definitely will. But yeah, Martin, unfortunately, besides YouTube, I think YouTube is just the best platform for learning in general. I don't think there's anything better, even paid, to be honest. I just don't think there's anything better than YouTube because YouTube is constantly being bombarded with new videos uploaded every second. So I really don't see a platform being bigger than YouTube or better than YouTube currently. If you want to pay for stuff, if you want to pay for filmmaking courses, yes, there's a ton of stuff that I've seen that I've been through. DM me on Instagram. We'll talk about it. Okay. Momentum_productions. I'll leave my Instagram here. If you guys have any questions that you want to ask me personally, you can DM me. We'll talk. All right. I answer all of my DMs. Your favorite YouTube channel for education? Andy X. Andy X. Definitely one of my favorite YouTube channels. Andy X is definitely one of my favorite, especially when it comes down to lighting. That guy knows his stuff. I love Andy X. Another good guy is actually Matt, who is Matt Johnson. And I finally got to meet him at NAB. That guy is awesome. Matt, who is Matt Johnson. And then we have, Kitty from Atola. She actually helped me out with my personality on camera. She's really good with personality, and she helped me out with lighting as well. We did a video together about lighting. And James Matthews, another good guy. This guy is like film. This guy doesn't stop recording. He never puts his camera down. James Matthews, another good guy to check out. And if you're thinking about buying new cameras or lenses, you got the Vonginator, Jason Vong. Okay, that guy makes the most in-depth review videos on cameras and lenses. All right, in my opinion, I don't think anybody does a better job than Jason Vong when it comes down to reviewing the hell out of a lens. I mean, this guy really goes deep into what a lens is all about. So if you're thinking about investing thousands and thousands of dollars in new glass or a new camera, you got to go to Jason Vong's channel and see what he recommends. Now, he's more focused towards the Sony universe. So if you're a Canon shooter, maybe that's not the best route for you. I'm a Sony shooter. I used to be a Canon shooter, but now I'm focused on Sony as well. So if you're a Sony shooter, definitely hit up the Vong, go to his channel, and see what he says about certain glass. I actually bought this lens and I bought this lens because of the Vong. All right, these two lenses. This is the 70-200 G Master, and the other lens that I just had was the 85mm Sony. So those lenses I bought because of his recommendation. So that should just tell you right there. I I practice what I preach. If I say go follow the Vong, that's because I follow the Vong. I call him the Vong. He's like the prophecy. He's a prophet. He's the Sony Alpha prophet. All right. Rick says, I have a 24-70 Sony G Master lens, which zooms heavy. What do you suggest when zooming in and out on the Ronin S? Use the lock button, then zoom out? Or so it's with a massive zoom lens, with like the G Master 24-70, I would recommend balancing the setup at, let's say, 50 millimeters. So zoom out to 50 and balance the gimbal at the 50 focal length. That way, your gimbal will be good on both ends, at wide and at telephoto. Okay, it's not going to just plop to one side. So that's something I would recommend with those G Master lenses. Famshino, what's up, man? How you doing? Do you have a problem with the DJI Ronin S underslung mode, like mini vibrations, shakes when you walk? I hope you'll answer this. Thanks. I haven't experienced vibrations in underslung mode, but I have experienced vibrations when going into underslung mode. So the process of going into underslung mode, yes, I've experienced vibrations, but overall, shooting in inverted mode on the Ronin S has been a pretty good experience. So yeah, I don't think that you should be experiencing those vibrations. But yeah, Ryan says, yes, the Vong is never wrong. He isn't, dude. The guy knows his stuff. The guy lives and breathes lenses and cameras. So yeah, I definitely made some hearty investments because of the Vong. Michael says, you're really professional. Thank you for answering questions. Of course. I think I answered everyone's question. We can keep going, guys. As long as you guys have more questions, I'm going to keep answering it. I'm choosing between the Sony a7 III and the Panasonic GH5 and A7S, A7 III, perfect low light, full frame, great photo, GH5, 10-bit chip. Okay. Man, I was at NAB, right? And I was checking out the Panasonic full frame lineup. Incredible. One issue that's keeping me from buying that camera is focus. That camera is so bad at autofocus, guys. But 10-bit internal, damn. At a full frame body, that's why Sony is waiting out when they're going to release their A7S Mark III very, very soon. I think they're going to be doing 10-bit internal 4K 60. And that camera is going to, I think it's going to blow everybody out of the water. I really do. So I would hold off. If you have a little bit of time, don't rush. Wait for Sony. Just wait for Sony. Okay? Everybody listen. Wait for Sony. Don't spend a dime on a camera body until Sony releases what they want to release. Then make the investment. If you have some cameras that you can work with right now, just stick with that. Wait another month or two. They're supposed to announce it at quarter 3. Okay, we're still in quarter 2, right? Yeah, we're in quarter 2. So wait another 2 months. Wait for what Sony is about to release, because I'm telling you right now, it's going to be big. Panasonic S1 or Sony A7 III? It depends, man. If autofocus is a big issue, then then A7 III. If focus is not an issue, Panasonic S1. That's my opinion. It also depends on the type of lenses you have. Do you have Sony glass or do you have Lumix glass? Like, that's also another factor. I like using native glass. Actually, I was checking out Sigma at NAB, and I was using some Sigma glass. I think it was a 135 Sigma on my Sony A9, and that thing was quick. It was quick. It was almost as fast as native glass. So I think Sigma is actually getting pretty damn close with their lenses and Sony bodies. They're getting pretty damn close. Any idea when the Sony comes out? It's really, they said quarter 3. That's what the rumors are suggesting, and it's going to be quarter 3. So I'm thinking April, May, June, July, August, September, maybe August. I'm thinking August, probably earlier than August. But yeah, that could be it. Don't quote me on it though. But quarter 3, I think for sure we're gonna have a new Sony cam. So that's gonna be very exciting. You're so helpful with everything. I'm thinking to upgrade to the Sony a7R III, but you just said to wait. Wait for it. Yeah, wait. Just wait, please. Don't spend any money on camera bodies right now. Just wait to see what Sony has. All right? Just wait. That's all I can say. Your favorite gimbal lens? My favorite gimbal lens is probably going to have to be the Zeiss 16-35 f4. This bad boy right here. I really like this lens. All right. Yeah. What else? Any idea? Yeah, okay, we talked about that. Any more questions, guys? We did a really good job with this live stream and going on for an hour already. Very good. Yeah. By the way, if you're just tuning in or if you've been tuned in for like the last 10, 15 minutes, I want your feedback on my channel. Okay? If there's anything that I can improve on to make your learning experience or overall experience better on this channel, let me know. I don't get insulted easily, so please be blatantly honest with me, and if there's anything I can improve on, let me know. Sony will work with Ronin S? Yes, it will. Also, let me know if you're getting notifications. All right. Make sure you're subscribed with those notifications turned on. I hope you are. Let me know if you're getting notified of my new content that I'm producing. All right. I want to make sure that you guys are watching it and learning from it. So please let me know if you're getting the content. All right. That's very, very important to me. And I hope it's important to you as well, because I want to make sure that it's being seen and viewed by you guys. And I just want the best learning experience for you guys, okay? It's very important. Okay. Now or never video says your channel is just perfect. I'm learning a lot. YouTube University. Thanks so much, man. I really appreciate it. But yeah, guys, please, if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed with that bell notification clicked, okay? The little bell icon, make sure you click it so that way you get notified of all the content that I'm releasing, because I've been noticing my content's not being delivered to a lot of my subscribers, and that worries me a little bit. So make sure that you're subscribed with those notifications turned on. All right, please, 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 please. All right, what else we got here? I'm not tired. I can keep going. So let's keep going, you guys. I have a meeting at 3:30, but we can go for maybe another 15, 20 minutes. Um, 4-axis, anything new worth to investigate? So we're talking about a 4-axis stabilizer. Nothing new currently in the market with 4th-axis stabilization. Nothing new. We're still waiting on something revolutionary to come out. Trust me, companies are working on it. They have to be, because gimbals are right now, they're about at their prime of how they're, their functionality and how they're being manufactured. I think gimbals are at their prime. Yeah. All right. I think, you know what, guys? I think we're good on today's live stream. Man, I've answered at least over like probably 50 questions here. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. I can't speak. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Again, make sure you're subscribed with those notifications turned on. I created 3 new videos since I came back from my 3-week hiatus from YouTube. So make sure you check out those videos. Make sure you're subscribed with the notifications turned on. I want to make sure that you're getting all of the content. Please, 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 please. Now or never video says, are you ever planning to go to Europe or do shooting? Switzerland, perhaps. Man, I'm not. I mean, in my head, I'm planning on it, but on paper, it's not set in stone. But definitely want to, man. DM me, guys, on Instagram, please. If you want to connect, hit me up on Instagram. Let me send you my Instagram. Hang on 1 second here. Yeah, here we go. Momentum_production. Boom. There you go. All right. Hit me up there. DM me. We can connect. We can talk. And there we go. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.